Multiculturalism is not motivated by a desire for integration or assimilation of the best of foreign cultures into Western culture. Rather, it seeks to put every culture into its own ghetto-sized safe space, while forcing the surrounding country to conform, rather than the other way around. Instead of a melting pot, it's a bunch of ingredients left to rot separately. That's a quote from Lauren Southern's book, Barbarians, How Baby Boomers, Immigrants and Islam Screwed My Generation. Let's take a look. So, Lauren Southern, a 21-year-old Canadian right-wing activist. She worked for Rebel Media for quite a while and now she's gone out on her own. This is a book by her, although I think it probably would be best described as an essay. By my Kindle version of it, it's only about 82 pages long. So I think essay is probably the right word. When I first started getting into YouTube politics, I remember seeing Lauren Southern at the Vancouver Slut Walk. Watching her stump feminists with simple factual questions was the beginning of the end for me in feminism, and I can't thank her enough. I've watched basically all her work ever since. I wasn't sure what to expect from her book, but let's just say it's 82 pages of Lauren Southern being exactly who she is. She didn't really do anything different from what she'd done before, but it's definitely unique from other books. It's 7 chapters of Lauren's opinions stated in her usual SJW triggering fashion. Any SJW that manages to get all the way through this should be congratulated. They may be starting to get a sense of humour. These are the chapter titles, by the way. Chapter 1, The West is Dying. Chapter 2, How Tenured Hippies Ruined Everything. Chapter 3, How Think Tank Fogies Ruined Everything. Chapter 4, How Immigration is Ruining Everything. Chapter 5, How Islam is Ruining Everything. Chapter 6, How I Ruined Everything. And Chapter 7, How to Stop Ruining Everything. You may have noticed a pattern there. Lauren basically goes through all the people she thinks made the West into the shithole it is now. The tenured hippies are university academics. The think tank fogies are neoconservatives. Some of her best chapters are on immigration and Islam, probably because that's what she's talked about a lot in the past. Her arguments are pretty reasonable once you get past all the stuff that's designed to shock you. Pre-warning, she does compare immigration to sugar-free gummy bears that basically give you diarrhea. Let's take that quote from the start. It made me think. People seem to believe that the only way you can get the benefits from lots of different cultures living together is by keeping them separate. The idea of assimilation basically falls into the racist category for most people these days. That's crazy. Are you telling me you don't think someone from another country is capable of holding on to the good parts of their culture while still respecting the freedoms of the West? Who's the real racist here? Sure, every culture has its good parts. Good food, good music, but that doesn't make them equal. Individuals, on the other hand, are all capable of being part of the best culture. I'm not going to excuse poor behaviour from someone of another culture because it's their culture. You're an individual. You can decide what's right or wrong for yourself. Why not bring the good cultural traits from your culture and still respect the laws of the country you're in? Being part of a family requires a little compromise. I really like Lauren's comparison between families and nations. Both of these institutions are losing a lot of their respect, and people seem to have forgotten why they were important in the first place. I guess this is why Lauren is sometimes called a conservative, but when you read her arguments, you'll see that they make sense. Given all her arguments, you won't be surprised that the way Lauren thinks we can fix it all is with a little nationalism. Personally, I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, everyone loves the freedom and opportunity that comes with the West, don't they?
I'm real sorry. You can leave.
Yeah! All right, hold this down. Let this flag burn. People die. Let this. Then why live here? If you're gonna do it, why live here? That's how we feel about Nazis.
That's how we feel about Nazis and colonialism.
There you go. They turn away.
That's all. We bought this flag.
Hey, this flag
It's our property.
genocide. This is a flag of occupation.
This is a flag of occupation. Colonialism. Genocide. Slavery. And we're gonna burn that shit. We're gonna burn what that shit symbolizes. Fuck that shit.
That's not a double standard.
Anyway, her argument for nationalism makes a lot of sense. She starts by saying there's a reason every self-help book starts with self-love. You can't help people if you're dying, and the West is dying. She thinks nationalism can work because it's part of human nature. We're naturally tribal and we want to look out for our own. But looking out for your own country doesn't mean that you can't look out for others too. Let's face it, Western countries would do a lot better at looking after refugees if their own countries weren't going to shit. Now we're getting people who want literally no immigration because it's gone too far. See, this is what happens. No one could claim that Lauren is an extremist if they read this book, and they had a sense of humour. She even says that, like any other ideal, nationalism included, you can't take it so far that you turn into a crazy person. She wants to put walls up so that we can then open doors for the people who truly want to be part of the family. How anyone can freak out at this idea is beyond me. If you really want to understand where a lot of the young people who are called right-wing these days are coming from, you can't go past this book. What she says is confronting, sure, and you could go the easy route and just not read it. But as Lauren says, part of the problem of this world is we've gotten rid of all the inconvenient things so you never have to feel bad about yourself again. If you want to be part of the problem of ignorance, just stay in your safe space and move on with your life. If not, prepare yourself for a lot of entertainment. Just be warned, if you're hoping for a long-winded explanation of where she gets her opinions from, you'll be disappointed. You're going to have to do your own homework if you want to start arguing these opinions yourself. Let's just call this the Lauren Southern Right-Wing Starter Pack. If you liked this video, please subscribe. There'll be heaps of super relevant and interesting books coming up on this channel, and I can't wait to share them with you. Until then, see you later.